Howdy, and welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Oh, let me fix this a little bit, get a little more. Oh no, that's even worse. Well, welcome to the live stream. My name is Sifu Tex. I'm here to teach you and show you a little bit about Tai Chi. And the great thing about today is you get to practice Tai Chi for the very first time. If this is your first time, I'm just gonna fix this because something's going on with the lighting that is ruining the whole space. I thought I had it set up perfect. All right, that should be good right about here. All right, well, there we go. Welcome to our class. Today, we're gonna be working on Wu style Tai Chi. And now with the Wu style Tai Chi, there's a couple things that we're gonna go through. But first, before we work on Wu style Tai Chi, I wanna go ahead and introduce myself. My name's Sifu Tex, or Eric Emmert. When you move out of Texas, you get nicknamed Tex. So my students call me Sifu Tex. And I originally started in martial arts when I was a young kid. I started learning Mijong Lawhorn Kung Fu, or Mahjong Lawhorn Kung Fu. And then I started getting into Wu style Tai Chi as an adult. Now, I've always learned Wu style Tai Chi and always been around Wu style Tai Chi as a kid. And growing up around it, because I do come from a traditional martial arts school, growing up around it, you pick up little things as you go. But I did not really see the benefits of Tai Chi that I now realize are there. And so one of my missions in my life, my goal, is to help spread awareness of Tai Chi and Tai Chi Chuan, and especially the Wu style, and how beneficial it is for you, because it is beneficial for you. When you learn Tai Chi and you start implementing what you learn from Tai Chi into real day-to-day stuff, it changes your entire aspect and your entire outlook on life too. So it's very important that we get these things going here. All right, so I'm gonna take a real quick check here, and then we're gonna start working on a couple different things. Get that one here. I have a couple little resources here that I just wanna make sure the stream is up and running. All right, got that going here. Perfect. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we start Tai Chi class with Qigong. Qigong is a very powerful thing. It's like a standing, moving meditation. And as we do this, we're cultivating our Qi and becoming more aware of our inner body and our Qi and our movements. Now, one myth of Tai Chi is that you have to use no muscles. That's just impossible. But we'll talk about that later on when we get to more of the Peng discussion and the rising energy. Because yes, when we say use less muscle, it means using as little force as possible to make the movements happen. So keep that in mind as we do our Qigong. I want you to listen internally and really think about what's happening inside and what you feel inside, like the muscles, the arms, little joints, everything like that. Really feel it and really think about it, but don't think too hard. I mean, like, listen internally. I know that's a lot. So we're gonna first get started with some Qigong, and then we'll start talking about kind of the benefits in Peng Energy. Now, this is very beneficial if Qigong is very beneficial if you're living in kind of a stressed life. One thing that Qigong does is it helps build our internal energy and helps cultivate the mental fortitude that we need in order to deal with our day-to-day lives and all the different stuff that comes at us. So Qigong is a very powerful tool to help us de-stress and calm our bodies while building the internal energy that is needed for Tai Chi. Now go ahead and close your eyes. Think about the stress of the world right now, right? You have most likely you're probably in your 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s, and you have the stress of life hitting you. You might have your career all set, and so you're dealing with different deadlines, different client demands, an email that needs to get out, but you've been putting it off. And for some reason, you keep coming back to that email, but you can't do it. Now, these stress factors start to build up, and it can lead to something called burnout. And burnout is, sorry, just had to check the mic, I thought it was off. And burnout is a very rough and bad stage to end up in. Once you've hit burnout, you're pretty much ready to quit. You're ready to give up on these goals or these aspirations that you've set up, and the stress of the world just crunches on you. You feel small, you feel like the world is collapsing in. And that's a tough spot to be in. And then once we get to that spot, we give up and go different directions. So we don't want to be in that spot. So go ahead and make sure your eyes are closed. Now think about waking up, and when you wake up, you have energy to tackle the day. You get up, you're happy. Maybe you hear the kids downstairs playing with their toys, laughing. You get downstairs, have a healthy meal, do your meditation or your workout. Then you go to work and you crush those deadlines. You get your task finished. The tasks that you don't finish, you turn them over and you put them off to the side for next time when you come in. And you understand that that's okay, because you have a game plan on how to tackle it next. And then you go out, maybe you pick up your kids or you go out and meet friends. You have the confidence and energy to stay engaged. So that's what we're going to be searching for. That way, when you go to bed at night, you can go to bed de-stressed and ready for the day. And these transitions are possible. One of my students, Mark, he was in a spot where he just moved out of town, or moved to the Pacific Northwest. He also moved with their parents, brought them with him. And then as they get integrated, because of course moving is stressful, they got integrated with the Pacific Northwest, got their kids in school, and then different obligations, family obligations, different stress started hitting them really, really hard at work, school. I believe they had to switch jobs, and then they were getting crushed in stress. Then after a little bit of Tai Chi, some Kung Fu, a lot of Kung Fu, they sent me a message the other day saying that they are super happy, they're a lot stronger, they've been tackling the world with success, and that Tai Chi and Kung Fu has helped prep them for the stresses. So the transformation is possible. It's a mind shift change, but it's also making sure that we take small actions, small steps to the right place. So that's enough of me talking about the benefits. Let's go ahead and do some Tai Chi and Qigong. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, if you're here, let's go ahead and drop the like button. I'll tell you all about my whole program later, but let's just go ahead and do some Qigong and start feeling our Qi moving. So you're gonna take about feet shoulder width apart, a little bit outside of shoulder width. Now, the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start swinging our arms, and we're gonna relax and loosen up. So the first thing, we start shaking our hands. Nice and loose. Then we start bringing that with a little bounce in our knee to our forearms. And I start shaking my forearms. Then I bring that bounce a little up higher to my hips, and the shaking goes up to my shoulders. And the shake turns into like a drop. And then we bring it, oh, I'm gonna take off the beads because those are gonna make noise right into the mic. All right, and then we go from here and we start a big shake. We wanna relax the shoulders, relax the knees, relax the hips, and then let's go ahead and relax the neck. Now don't go too crazy to where your neck is bobbing all around, but nice and loose. Good. Once you've shaken it out, next thing we're going to do is we're going to swing the arms. Nice and loose. Getting loosey-goosey and getting rid of all the stress from the day. Good. Now we're going to start swinging forward. I'm going to take one foot forward, my left foot, and my right foot back, swinging up to the forehead and turning the waistline. Now I'm going to switch my feet. And bring the feet together. We're going to cross our arms, one microcosmic orbit. Hands up, scoop the sky, and pull down. Good. All right, now that we've gotten a little looser, now we're going to go ahead, take the fingertips, we're going to tap our fingertips. Wake up some of the meridians in the fingers. Now from here, we're going to take our palm, we're going to rub our palm at the points here. This gateway in the center of the palm, this is a meridian point. So chi flows through our meridians to different areas. It's the way, the meridians are the different pathways for the chi. Pretty much what I think of chi rivers. And as you massage the points here, these help waking up the chi rivers and the different points. It's like acupuncture. When they're stabbing you with those needles, they're hitting little meridian points. So it's very important to wake up these points when you do Tai Chi. Now we're going to rub our hands together. And down. Now you might feel some tinglies in your hands and your arms. That's good. That's the Chi waking up. All right, now we're going to go back to our shoulder width position, and we're going to go into what's called Wu Ji. So I'm going to start standing up. I'm going to tuck my pelvis here. And the way I tuck my pelvis is by bending my knees and tucking my hip forward and squatting down a little bit. So from the side here, if you look, this is me just standing up. When I tuck my pelvis, I go here. What this does is this causes my back to push out just a little bit here, creating a straight line up to the neck here. Then we pull up from a string up to here. So we want to keep this posture here. This is called Wu Ji, the tucked hip with the neck rising. And each vertebrae in the back expands up. Another way to get to Wu Ji, if you're practicing, is you can start by bending over and you fully round your chest all the way down here. And then I bend my knees. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly straighten up, starting at my hip, rising up each vertebrae all the way up, keeping the hip tucked into Wu Ji. Now this is our first posture. It's called Wu Ji, otherwise known as emptiness. This posture also means eternal potential is one way that you could kind of register it, as it's not empty. You are here, you have your chi flowing, but it is empty. So you can move from anywhere from there. But we can go into the deep Tai Chi at a different time. So here in Wu Ji. Now we're going to first we're going to do a breathing exercise where we breathe all the way down to our Dantian, which is located 2 inches below and behind the navel. And I want us to take our palms and just put it right there. Now as we breathe in, we're going to breathe all the way down to that spot here. And then when we breathe out, it comes back up and out in Wu Ji. Let's do 3 big breaths together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Let's start our Qigong number 1. Raising palms. Working on Peng Energy. Raising up. The palms start to reach forward as if they're being picked up by clouds. Floating up to the shoulder level. And we expand out through our tendons forward. Rounding the back all the way. Then we pull back, dropping the shoulders, rolling the elbows down here. Pull the palms down, where the palms start to face up. As they face up, my elbows drop down more, pulling the palms to go down, rolling like on a ball, all the way down, back to Wu Ji. Again, when we're in Wu Ji, we want a circle here, a little bit concaved in the chest too. And then we raise again, raising the palms up like they're on clouds. Extend the fingers forward and pull back. Elbows drop, ward off. 1, and raise. Extension and pull back. Now at any time you can put on some soft, soothing music. I'm not playing music today, but a lot of people like to listen to music while they do the Qigong. Whatever it takes to get you into a nice, relaxed spot to where your hands are like floating on clouds. Make sure their shoulders are dropped. Shoulders are dropped. The head is lifted up as if it's suspended by light, floating, buoyant energy. And as we practice this one, you should feel a buoyancy in your body. When you get really good at your Qigong and you really start to feel your Qi, you'll feel the Qi swell up first. To me, it's like a swelling feeling. And then I move, because the Qi is already carrying it forward. Now they say that the Qi lies in your blood. It helps your oxygen get to, or it helps the capillaries open up and get more oxygen to your blood. And they say that the Qi lies in your blood and your breath, mainly your breath. Good, let's move on to the next one. So we're gonna do the same rising, but now we're gonna go to the side. Rising to the side. Now when we get up to the side here, we're gonna turn our palms up. Scoop the heavenly Qi, or the universal Qi up and above us. And we're gonna pull it down, putting it into our crown chakra. And then we stir the coffee. Pull down, passing through the upper dantian, the throat, the middle dantian in the heart area, down to the lower dantian, and then back to rising energy, floating on clouds. Turn the palms, scooping the universal Qi. Placing the Qi with us, connecting the Shen and the universe. 3 stirs, and pull down. And as we pull down, we imagine all that stress from today. All of it slowly melts away. Some people will carry the stress in their shoulders. Now you find a little spot that may be tense, and you let that release. And again. Sideways, turn the palms up, scoop, and stir. Down, passing the upper dantian, the middle dantian, and as we're passing the lower dantian, we're still thinking about breathing all the way down to the dantian. One more time. to go to the next one, and we're going to work on cultivating the emotional chi. So we go up to the sides. Now we're going to scoop forward. And I scoop by bending my shoulders forward. Then here my elbows scoop first, pulling in the chi to my upper dantian or middle dantian. Then I'm going to go down to the lower dantian. Out to the sides. Forward. Now this is said to cultivate our emotional chi, or the chi, the energy that correlates with our emotions. Now they say that in the in the Eastern philosophies is that everything has its own energy or its own chi. Our thinking cultivates our shin chi, or shin chi is part of our thinking, and then our emotional chi is cultivated through our, not just through our shin, but also through our middle dantian. So all the emotional energy we can cultivate by connecting the middle, the upper, and the lower dantian. When I do this, a lot of times I think about the stress, right? The stress is a ball. To me, I see it as a big black smoky ball. And as I breathe in, I grab all that stress and compound it into a big thick ball. And then when I breathe out, the stress melts away and I breathe out that ugly smoke. Good. Let's do one more. Up to the sides. Forward. Now on this time, we're going to stop at our lower dantian. Right here. Now, as we stop here, what we're going to do is we're going to expand our dantian and close our dantian. Well, not close it, we never close it, but we're going to expand. So it's getting pulled and then push. And then now let's breathe in. Breathe out. Now at any time during your practice, you might start feeling some shaking. There's many different thoughts on what the shaking is. The shaking could be, and I say could be because there's many different thoughts on it, but it said that it could be a chi blockage and that the chi is trying to get through, but it has a small little pathway. So as the chi blockage opens up more and more, you'll start getting at first rapids, but then it'll smooth out to a full chi river where there's no shaking. Now that's one theory. Other theory is saying that it's the energy with no place to go, nowhere to expand out to, so nowhere to strike out to. So that's one theory also. Some people just say that it's just chi. That's just your energy, and that some people shake and some people don't. It's like people who see chi. Some people will see auras and really see chi in people. Good. From here, we're going to take the right hand, put it on top with the left hand on bottom. And we expand, pulling and pushing. Pull and push. Expand the chi ball. Compress the chi ball. And remember, we're breathing all the way down to our dantian, 2 inches below and behind the navel. Hold the chi ball and pull. Sorry, we just flipped it over, so make sure you turn over. repeat on the other side. Now the hand only has to go up to the solar plexus while the bottom hand drops, and then lift and compress back together. Good, we're gonna hold the chi ball here. We're gonna bring it up to our heart. Let the chi rise up from the bubbling spring at the pad of your foot, up through the back of the legs and up the leg, to the hips in the solar plexus, up the back through the crown, or to the crown, all the way up, and through the shoulders to the palms. Shoulders to arms to palms, where the chi will be sent to the gates here. The gates here that we were massaging earlier. And let's feel that magnetism that's between your hands. Feel the heat. Some people will feel it cold. Some people will feel the static. Remember, the whole time we're doing this, we're breathing all the way down to our dantian. And let the chi flow up the legs, through the dantian, through the back, through the arms, forward into the palms. Then it goes back through the arms, down through the front here to the dantian, and then back to the ground, creating one full circuit. Good, now that we feel the chi, and we have the static kind of feeling or that magnetism feeling in your hands, we're gonna pull and stretch it. And then push, compress. And we're stretching it like taffy. And stretch it thin. And press. And again, pull. Feel the magnetism. And press. Pull, stretch, and compress. One more time. Good. Now push down. We're going to scoop our back into posting, what I call riding the escalator. Now again, the chi's flowing up the legs from the bubbling spring, up to the dantian, up the back through the shoulders to the palms, and up through the crown chakra, and back through the shoulders to the front to the dantian, back down through the legs to the ground. All right, and scoop. One more time, back to ride the escalator. Now pull down to the dantian. Right hand fist, left hand palm. And to close, we're going to breathe in through our nose, back down to the dantian 3 times. So we breathe in through our nose 1, and exhale through the nose 2. Breathe through the nose 2. And number 3. Cross the arms. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale as we clear the chakras. from here, we're going to make hollow fists and scoop up. Breathe in. And exhale, open the fist. And feel free to stand up. Now, first thing I tell everyone, once you're done with especially an extended period of Qigong, you want to move your feet first. Once you move the feet, the blood will start flowing in the feet. It can pull a little bit, which is why the Taoist who created Tai Chi eventually created moving postures too. That way you can move and walk while doing your Tai Chi postures, which ended up turning into Bagua Zhang later. So that's all kind of different ways to connect all the dots. But we first start with standing Qigong. All right, I want y'all to take a second, think about what you felt, think about how that felt to you, and what you could find in your different levels of stress. Some people will start feeling emotions too, as different stress barriers start to break and different Tai Chi connections start to happen, because it does connect to our emotions. So go ahead, take a second, then we'll come back and we'll do some more Tai Chi and actually start talking about the Peng energy and kind of why I was doing very specific Qigongs. We're gonna tie it all together. All right, we'll be back in just 1 second. All right, let me grab some water real quick. And yes, I still drink out of a mason jar. I am from Texas. No matter where I'll be, I will have mason jars. So yeah, Shinobi, that's I'm glad you're here. That's yeah, you know, like you said, the information just wasn't out there nearly as much. So there's a lot more Tai Chi breaking out in the area, in all areas, which is really good. And there are online courses too. Of course, you know, learning in person is always the best, but it's very doable nowadays with different online courses and different online teachers who have really become really proficient at teaching online, including myself. In fact, I got so excited about it, I released my own app, which we can talk about that some other time. What I want to talk about right now is Peng. So one of the main and probably I don't want to ever say something is higher than the other in Tai Chi, as everything has its own benefit and standard for it. But Peng is probably one of the most important energies that you learn in Tai Chi. And we do it all the time to a point, you know. Peng is about rising. So let's go ahead and start talking about Peng. Oh, of course, the chair, my chair. It's my drum stool. All right, tighten that up. All right, so I have my little whiteboard here. Let me move this up closer for now. That way we can discuss this with all right. Get right here. All right, we're testing the mic, testing the mic. I have someone here testing it for me real quick, seeing if you can hear me. All right, we're testing the mic. Oh, there it goes. Weird.
When we vote.
Whoa, what's going on? Okay, evidently, through that whole lesson, my mic wasn't going. Weird. So let's start that over. All right. You live, you learn. For some reason, the mic, was showing active, but as soon as I reset it, it came back. So, that's okay. That just means I got a little bit of practice there. Oh, I should have brought a napkin in here to make this easier, because erasing it by these little erasers. All right, and so what we're discussing right now is we're discussing Peng. Peng is rising energy. Hey, what's up? Welcome. So today in our Tai Chi discussion, we're discussing Peng, P-E-N-G. Peng is rising energy. Peng is buoyant. So what does that mean? Oh my God, I can't spell. B-O-U-Y-O-U-N-T. Y'all ignore my handwriting. I don't know how to spell buoyant. That's okay. So it's buoyant. It rises. It's a floating kind of feeling. This helps our stance and our stability. This is the initial energy that you start with in your Tai Chi. When you see people first start with the raising the palms, and they raise like they're on clouds. So they raise up nice and soft and feel like they're kind of floating there. That energy is Peng. The same energy that we'll have here, or kind of here, or when we bring our palms up into Tai Chi here, when they come up to like the erect palm position here before brush knee palm. This rising energy is the basis to our stability, and why you can see Tai Chi people, they have such a strong stance and they can't be moved. That initial push on them, that's Peng that they hit. Then once they address the Peng, then we can turn it into a different energy here. So it's a buoyant kind of floating feeling that you'll have. And like I said, it's very prominent if you're doing your Qigong correctly, breathing down to the Dantian. You'll start here, engage the Dantian, and you feel the hands rising like clouds. Very little muscle movement, a lot of tendon, a lot of joint movement, but very little muscle movement. Now that floating feeling is somewhat filled by the oxygen getting into the blood, which causes it to have that kind of feeling. The capillaries open up more, causing oxygen to get to different spots better. That's just a proven thing that they've proven it helps with cardiovascular health, and that's proven with Tai Chi. And yeah, we get laughing faces because people don't understand. It's cool. So you get the Peng energy, that floating kind of feeling. Now again, like I said, it's not the pushing or anything like that. It's buoyant. It's rising. So also rising energy. Rising. So it goes up. Right? We don't sink down. It's not rolling back. It's rising energy. Rising energy. It's stable. That means when you get into your stance and that energy is rising, they can't push you. They can't move you. When they first try to push you, they run into that force first, the Peng energy, and then they can't get past it. And it's key to our stance. So one thing to think about Peng, I'm going to do it again. now that I have the sound on, is from 7-star here, right? When we do our erect palm here, the hands come up. This is kind of a Peng feeling here. When I move through into my neutral stance here, this is a very strong stance if you have that rising energy. If you don't have that rising energy, this comes into a very hard stance where you're having to use a lot of muscle. You're squeezing your muscles to get low. When you have the Peng energy, it's kind of floating there already, and you have that buoyancy. That way, when you get into your push and you go into your plow oxen, you can fully extend out, and it's a different energy. But when they come in and they push on you, like here, and they push, that first initial reaction that they hit here, that's Peng. The buoyancy, the kind of push in here, then we can redivert into different ones. Now, with the Peng, let's see if we can make this here. That did nothing for that, but that's okay. So, here's our energies, right? We have different energies. This is kind of and different quadrants for different energies. Now, Peng is the first energy coming in, or Peng is our stance energy, right? So say if we get force coming in here. When we have force coming in here, it's gonna hit here, right? Peng is that first little hit here. That's Peng. Now when we bounce it out and redirect it to a different direction like that, or if we roll it down this way, those are two different energies after it's first met us into our stable force. So Peng into the next move. Now that's really cool, right? But what does that mean for any of reality, right? What does that mean besides the Tai Chi kind of force description? Now, when you develop Peng, your stance does become stronger. You have a stable, and it feels like if you've ever pushed on a Tai Chi master and you can't move them, that's because of the rising energy. Peng, you just can't move them. You're hitting a wall. And that's important for our day-to-day stuff. Let me move this back now. Now, I'm always trying to find relationships between our actual Tai Chi practice with reality. Oh, I just hit the mic, sorry. And when I say that, I mean, how can I take the, man, I just keep missing on the camera here. All right, and so how do I take the Tai Chi practices, right, all these theories and stuff, and bring it into reality? Because that, in the end, we live in reality, right? I'm not some masterful sage out in the wilderness just meditating all the time. That's not who I am. That's not what I mean, I would love to do that, truthfully. So, but anyways, having a stable practice or being stable relates to being able to handle other outside forces coming in and building up your internal stability and internal, what's the word for it? Hardiness? Man, I'm really drawing a blank on that one. Resilience. That's it, resilience. Building your resilience to outside forces. Because Peng is if something hits you, it's your first stance, right? A lot of us will react and start pushing back all the way. We don't want to do that. We want to have some sort of buoyant thing where we can kind of take it in, and then we can direct it wherever we want. But whenever we're here and we raise up, that's because we're strong enough to be up. So the most important one that they always teach first, even for applications, is rising energy. Right? That way you can be solid at work, home, at your kids' projects, whatever you need. Whenever any outside stress factors hit you, you can just think about Peng, rising and soft energy. Nice and buoyant. And plus, if you take one thing away from this technique alone is excellent for stress relief. Just that one, and you're already practicing Peng. And it's the first one we teach. So the first thing that you teach is one of the most important things that you'll ever learn for Tai Chi. Now, we normally don't tell you that you're learning it, right? We don't like, oh yeah, you're learning Peng right away. You know, we don't. We just want you to do it and start learning it. So that's really cool. That's Peng Energy. So remember, whenever you're doing rising, Peng, rising, should feel like clouds. Same thing when you're moving. Oh, wow, yeah, that's stool. Same thing when you're moving forward. When I move forward, rising energy. I have this rise in me. The buoyant energy is keeping me up. Every movement, I still have a little bit of Peng. So that's Peng. So you want to make sure to insert Peng in your life. That's funny. All right, let's take a quick second. Go ahead, if you want, you can think about that for a quick second. I'm going to grab a sip of my water, and then we'll do another little practice here and tie Peng in to our Tai Chi practice. All right, that's enough break. Yeah, who cares for a break? Just need to get a little water. All right, so how do we practice Peng? One of the best ways to practice Peng, besides the Qigong that we did, is actually learning the full 13 golden postures. Now, I don't expect you to learn every single posture today. We're going to work on 3 of the main postures, which are, well, no, let's work on the first 3 moves again. Now, I've been teaching this for free on here on YouTube, and you don't get as much detail as you would get in my full program, but it's fun to learn and it gives you all a basis to work on. So let's start learning the form. So I'm going to start with my feet at an angle here. Drop my shoulders. Now I'm going to relax my knees and squat. From here, I shift my weight all the way over to my right side and lift my left knee. Now I put my foot down, going toe to heel, and then I shift over to my left side, all the way on the left. And I can raise my toe up and turn the foot forward and shift back to the center here. Now I'm in what's called Muji. Now we're going to use what we just did. We're going to focus on rising energy, just like we have our hands on clouds. And the clouds are going to pull us up, just like the Koopas in Mario. Rising, floating on clouds. Then we're going to extend our fingers forward, just like the first Qigong we did. Roll back, elbows drop, twist. Hands pull down, and we sink down here. Go ahead, let's do that one more time. And I sink to the right, lift the left heel up. Toe to heel, shift over to this side, raise the heel, turn over, and back forward. Rising energy. Forward, back, and down. Now from here, I'm going to put all my weight to my right. I'm going to lift my left heel. My palms are going to come up using that same Peng energy, keeping me suspended. And as they come around here, I kick out 7-star. My fingers come up, and they make a palms forward, a rect palm here. Go ahead, let's do that again. Sink all the way to the right, left heel steps up, toe down, straighten the feet, rising, reach out, pull back, roll down the ball, sink. Now we sink to our right, the hands come up with the Peng energy, brush our ankle, kick out with the left foot, palms forward here. Now from here, I'm going to take my left foot and turn it this way. As I take my left foot and turn it here, I'm going to turn my left palm sideways here. And I should still have that feeling of Peng, that floating feeling here. But now I'm going to change it by pushing forward here. Now in Wu style Tai Chi, when we do our push forward from 7-star, we do have a little lean in it in our Shanghai. We're from Shanghai Wu style. So from here, which you'll notice there's a couple different Wu styles, some have a little bit of differences. When I turn the foot and turn the arm, I go here. Then I can push forward and extend back through here. See how I have that lean here? That's what we were looking for. Good. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to face forward one more time. So from the very beginning. Sink all the way to my right. Left heel raises. Step down. Now I turn my front foot forward. Here. Rising. Peng energy. Then the full 5 energies. Ward off and push down and sink. Shift to the right. All of the weight to the right. No weight on the left foot. Heel toe. Kick out 7-star. Erect palm. Turn the palm and foot and push. Now from here we're going to release the back leg. That causes my chest to come up from my lean, up, and I turn. Again, brushing the ankle with now the right foot. So I lift the right foot up, brush the ankle as the palm comes out forward here. And when I kick out, it goes out to its own lane. Good. Let's do that again. So now let's start like we just did our rising. I sink to the right, kick out, erect palm, turn the palm and push. Release the back knee, straighten the back, turn, 7-star, forward. And this time, a hand here. Right here. Good. Let's do that again. Come a little further back so I can get a little more movement in the sink. Rising. Extension. Pull back. Board off. Rising energy again. Turn and push. Turn. 7-star. Good. I know that's a lot. That's a lot to take in for your first time. If it's your first time doing Wu style or any style of Tai Chi, it is a lot to learn in a couple movements or in a short time. So really good job. Keep up all the hard work. We're going to take a real quick break. Come right back and we're going to do some more. All right, well, right before we get back to learning a couple more moves, as I do want to show y'all placing the bird in the cage all the way into single whip. Before we move on to that, I do have to do a shameless plug real quick. I do have an online program. Right now, we have spot for 10 more people to learn Wu style Tai Chi online from the comfort of your home. When you sign up, you get to join our app, which is the Eternal Arts app. You can find it at Google stores, Play stores, all of that. And then it's a 6-week intro course that you learn Wu style Tai Chi, Qigong, and each week, it's an 8-week course. And each week it opens up new things for you to learn in a progress. That way I can check on your progress, and then we have group classes that happen twice a week, just like here on YouTube. And then what I do is I do those group classes with Zoom. That way I can see your postures, your movements, and we can get real audits and real actual progress made. People who just give you tutorials, how do you know that you're doing anything if you're just looking at tutorials? If I can see you move, I can help your postures and stuff like that. So that's the benefit of joining my online program. And we do have a special sign up right now. The next 3 people to sign up will get the 8-week course for $300. It's normally costing $1,500 for the full course, as it teaches Qigong, Tai Chi, and it's open to you with all this stuff. Some people even use it for self-practice later on to go ahead and become their own teachers. Now, I do suggest practicing. If you ever have aspirations to become a teacher, you need to practice for a long time. So why not get started now? One of the reasons why I started Tai Chi years and years ago, because when I got older, I wanted to be able to do something active that I was decent at, but wanted to not have to learn something starting at a later point. Now, anyone can learn Tai Chi at any time, and it's really beneficial. So if you're interested, go ahead and hit #me, but let's learn a couple more moves for Tai Chi and get moving. All right, first, let's go ahead and review those first 3 moves, or 1, 2, 3, yeah, first 3 moves, and then we'll do place the bird in the cage. So starting up here, I sink, step out, turn the foot forward, rising, extension, pull back, and down, sink to the right, left foot up, 7-star stance, erect palm, turn the palm, push, turn, 7-star. Now from here, let's do place the bird in the cage. So I'm going to turn the palm and look at myself in the mirror here. As I turn that palm, my hands are going to come in just a little bit. Now the hands don't come in because I'm pulling in here and then going. What's happening is my body is making a shift here, forward, here. So the hands actually are staying in the same spot. What happens is my foot goes flat, I move forward into neutral, and then I can push forward out here. And as I push forward out, the right hand is going to extend out 45 to the corner there. So from here, hold in, push out. Now from here, once I extend out here through that back leg, I'm going to turn the body by turning and closing this hip in here. As that hip closes, this hip is going to stretch here. The quad here is going to stretch. So I go from here, look at myself, out, I turn, and I'm going to turn my belly all the way to that corner here. Now I'm going to drop the elbow, lifting the palm up, pushing back on the foot, all the way back to 7-star, keeping the belly loaded. Now the hand is going to start to push, and the belly stays loaded into the arm. As it pushes out, once we get here, the belly's going to release here. Release, hook, I raise my heel, I step out, I turn my toe, single whip. Now, let me get into the screen here. 1, hook, I'm going to step out. Now I open my hip, single whip. And in Wu style Tai Chi, we do a Ma Bu single whip. You'll see other styles do bow stance or kind of a bent stance. We want to stay in Ma Bu, or a horse stance. Good. Let's do that part again. So we just went from here. I pull in, reach out, turn, pull back, turn, push out, hook, Mabu. One hand a hook, one hand a palm. Now when we do our hook, we're going to do our fingertips together like this and bend the wrist here. The palm, palms out like that. Hook and palm. So when I go here, 1, 2, 3. All right, let's do that movement again because that is one of the harder ones. So from here, pull in, move forward, extend out, turn, pull back, turn, push, hook, pull. That is place the bird in the cage to single whip. All right. So how can we incorporate Peng into those movements, especially the placing the bird into the cage into single whip? Well, it's a different energy. So the main thing that you want to take in from our main discussion today of Peng is the rising part from the first part. The rising part when the arms come up to here to keep your stable stance. The energy that holds us up, that holds us in our buoyant kind of soft movements, that rising energy, that is Peng, P-E-N-G. So just remember that, and remember the resilience that you get from Peng. Peng is to build a strong structure. That way any outside force, especially if it's like a bad comment on YouTube, that's a perfect one. When people talk trash here on YouTube, it doesn't bother me because I have Peng, I have rising energy. When they hit me, it comes in and I bounce it off because I have built the relationship with myself and Qi and Tai Chi to be able to know that they don't know what they're talking about, but it's okay. They're just another person passing by and I'm resilient to their energy. All right, that's today's lesson. Make sure you go and like and subscribe. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Again, one more shameless plug. I do have an online Tai Chi program and an online Kung Fu program. You can start it at low as $39.99 at our Eternal Arts app. If you look on Google or the Play Store, the Google Play Store or Apple, you can find it at Eternal Arts. Now, if you want to join my 6-week course, it's an 8-week course. I remember we just bumped it up to 8 weeks. That way y'all can get even more value out of it. My 8-week course, that's located online. There's a little, in the description, there's a little link to the type form to go ahead and apply for that, as we can only take 10 students. And the first 3 new students to sign up will get not just only our promotional price at $350, but you'll also get $50 knocked off at that. So you get the whole 8-week course for $300 to the next 3 signups. Awesome. Well, y'all have a wonderful day. Make sure you go and hit that like and subscribe button. Smash the notifications. I hope you have a blessed day. Take care.